Hello, everybody. Thanks for attending. I'm Keith Godey, and I lead the cloud practice for Stratos Cloud. And with me, I have Tyler Bowman. Tyler, you want to introduce yourself?
How are you doing, everyone? My name is Tyler Bowman. I'm the e-commerce director here at Palacio and Stratos Cloud Alliance.
Thank you, Tyler. Today, we have a really important topic that we wanted to discuss. Microsoft is changing the way it's handling Azure consumption. And essentially, they're moving or requiring you to move from the Microsoft Azure to Azure Plan. And we want to talk to you a little bit about what that is, why it's important, and things like that. Tyler, would you like to maybe talk a little bit about why Microsoft is requiring this change and what the change actually is?
Yeah, so over the last few years, Microsoft has started rolling out this new commerce experience, this new ideology of Microsoft Cloud, what we call 2.0, right? What we saw in the beginning of Microsoft is it wasn't very customer-led. It was very partner-led, partner-driven, right? What we see now in this new world of modern commerce is really the ability for clients and partners to drive together in a friendly ecosystem. And about a year ago, they released this new concept called Azure Plan to really take that Azure, we'll call it kind of ecosystem, and make it more friendly for partners and customers to coexist.
So as a partner, what should I know? Why is this important to me?
Well, it's important for a few different reasons. The main reason Azure Plan is so, I will say, enticing is because when you look at Azure subscriptions, it was, when you provision one, it was one, then another, then another, then another, no central management, just a whole bunch of letters and numbers. You kind of had to figure out what you were doing and who it was tied to.
Yep.
When we look at something like Azure Plan, we're looking at one single Azure tenant with subtenants under it, so that there's now central management for that actual tenant.
And then as a client, so an end consumer, why is it important to them?
Well, for end customers, it's really important because now we're not looking, once again, at multiple subscriptions, trying to consolidate multiple bills. You see one bill, you see all the subcategories, and it allows you to essentially purchase third-party products and have it built into that Azure subscription. So let's say you're building out a firewall subscription and you want to put Sophos in it, right? Well, that Sophos subscription and software will tie back to, let's call it that actual Azure subscription, which is now under Azure Plan, making it really easy to consolidate that bill.
And Microsoft's talking a lot about cost management and being a part of this. Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, so basically when we look at the difference between Azure Consumption and Azure Plan, in Azure Consumption, the only thing you really had to go by was Partner Center, right? And if you weren't a tier one provider, you didn't even have Partner Center. You really had to go off that indirect providers, either portal or whatever tools you had, makeshift situations you had. What we see now in Azure Plan is the ability to take that Microsoft's new Azure Cost Management solution and really bring that in and be able to do full cost analysis across that subscription and that plan, making it easier to fine-tune things, whether we need to look at, see how Azure fits. Some clients want to run 24/7, 365. Some want to run, 5 days a week from 9 to 5, and that's it. Really becomes easier to predict that cost, see what that spend is, and really tailor the costing for that client.
So really, a couple of takeaways here is kind of streamlining the overall management process, one, and then two, really enabling self-service where needed, right?
Right. And, one of the other major defaults of Azure Plan is when you look at the old Azure subscriptions, all you had was admin on behalf of, right? Now rolling into Azure Plan, you're getting that default, admin on behalf of, but you're now also getting that default of Lighthouse and Azure Lighthouse's new management capabilities, which are really good for those CSP partners and those managed service providers to be able to manage and tailor all those subscriptions in one place.
Agreed. Great tool. And then I think lastly, Tyler, I mean, this is a significant Microsoft push, right? Are there any timelines people need to be aware of? Is there, any drop dead dates, end of life dates, or things like that we need to know about?
Yeah, so in the CSP world right now, Microsoft, as of July, has stopped producing Azure subscriptions, right? From the old consumption standpoint. You can still buy Azure, but it needs to be on Azure plan. There's some mixed rumblings about the true end of life. What we're hearing from Microsoft is they want all existing subscriptions moved over in the next 3 months. So that's the October timeframe. Now, there's some other things that say end of life is 2022. The best way that I can determine, and what I would tell partners and people that are working with Stratos, is this: the benefits outweigh anything that could potentially happen, right? Because it is all Microsoft services and it's all housed in the same data center, really not changing much. So I would say moving over now, simplifying that process, getting that cost management, is probably a better choice until waiting till the true end of life is really announced.
Start taking the steps now.
Yeah, being proactive, moving people over, drumming up excitement over it is really something we see that is going to be more of a positive change.
Yep.
Plus, you're getting all of these consolidations and these costing tools, and now these third-party products that they're introducing. So you can actually consolidate subscriptions from other vendors directly through Microsoft. So I think the move now makes a lot more sense than waiting for a true end of life.
Got it. I would agree. I would completely agree. So, well, Tyler, those are all the questions I had. As always, thanks for stopping by and joining the call, and we'll talk more.
All right, sounds good. Everyone have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.